Hottest new car.
Monday on Good Morning Cleveland.
Toyota Sports Sunday is sponsored by your Northeastern Ohio Toyota dealer.
Hello and welcome to Sports Sunday. I'm Dyro Joyner. From bowling to baseball, hoops to the gridiron, we've got it all covered. Tribe shortstop Omar Vizquel has several gold gloves, but tonight you'll learn more about his heart of gold. Plus, Browns linebacker Wally Rayner joins us in studio to look back at his first season in the NFL. And Hall of Fame quarterback Terry Bradshaw tells us who he thinks the Browns should take with the first pick in this year's draft. And with just 3 days left in February, March Madness is right around the corner. But first, how could the 6th-ranked Ohio State Buckeyes improve on their Final Four appearance of last year? A national championship would be fine this season. But first things first, how about a Big Ten title? A win over Illinois would tie the Bucs with co-leaders Michigan State and Purdue. In the first half, it was nip and tuck early on. The freshman of the Illini, Frank Williams, comes up with a swipe and the lay, defying Illini by 2. But in the second half, the Bucs regrouped. Grant Brown inside, fighting. The putback for 2 of his 12 points. We're tied at 38 all. Ohio State pulled away from there. On a 20-3 run, the Scooney Pinster on senior day drives in the lay 60-45. The Bucs go on to win, and they move into that log jam for first place. Number 3, Cincy hosting Louisville, and Kenyon Martin did a job on the Cardinals for 24 points. Louisville fell behind 33-16 and shot only 28% in the first half. DeMar Johnson sat out this game, serving his NCAA suspension for accepting money from an AAU coach to help pay for his prep school tuition. Didn't matter. Cincy rolls 68-59. Now, March Madness is right around the corner. Tonight, the Baldwin-Wallace women's basketball team got the news they've been waiting for. A #1 seed in the Great Lake region. A 26-1 record gives them a bye in the first round. They got the good news around 9:30 this evening.
Well, we figured we'd be a #1 seed. We're happy with our first round game, but you know, obviously we've got to also have to play Capital again. You know, that's just a tough way to go. We've played them 3 times already. We get tired of playing each other.
Saturday at home, and we'll play the winner of Wednesday's game against Wilmington and Kenyon. Now, Cavaliers guard Earl Boykin still doesn't know if he can unpack his bags and settle into his hometown for the rest of the season. His 10-day contract expires today, but Cavs officials say a decision will not be announced until tomorrow. Now, if the Cavs do sign Boykins, he'll be in Cleveland for the rest of the season. Phoenix invades Gund Arena this Tuesday. This afternoon, they were north of the border for a throwdown with the Raptors. Now, friendly, if you are a Toronto fan, but Air Canada, better known as Vince Carter, half man, half amazing. His national debut for 25 points in the first half, so nice, we got to show you the 360 twice, but he left the best for last. Shorty from the corner, that's the game winner, 103-102 over Phoenix. Carter finished with a career and NBA season high, 51 points. Meanwhile, at the Convo, the Crunch hosted the Harrisburg Heat. The Crunch riding the wave of prosperity these days. They came into this game with a 3-game winning streak. You can now change that to 4. They hammered the Heat. Hector had it going on. A 3-pointer, 3 twos, and 2 assists. In the Motor City, the Lumberjacks rebounded nicely, and they took out the Vipers 3-2, and they needed a penalty shot by Jeff Christian in the third period to pull off the victory. Ted Crowley bagged 2 power play goals, respectively. In Akron, Dennis Horan won the PBA's Tour Players Championship. He beat Hall of Famer Pete Weber 266-189 for his second major title. Horan battled back from the 8th position and fought his way through the field to win the $40,000 in prize money. Horan had not made a finals since 1998. But what about the rest of the day on the hardwood and the ice? Chill, here it is. And welcome back to the show. With the NFL Combine going on in Indianapolis right now, what better time to talk about football than right now, with March just around the corner. With that being the case, we now bring in a guy who we've grown to love over the last year, that being the starting middle linebacker of the Cleveland Browns, Wally Rayner, who joins us in the studio this evening. Thanks a lot for coming in.
Glad to be here, man.
All right, now you guys are about a week away from your first, I guess, conditioning camp there at Berea. What have you been doing in the offseason?
Just thinking about the season, thinking about the past, how teams beat us up real bad, man. And I think the guys that's coming back and the new people we're bringing in, I think we want to come out in a storm and we want to win one at home for the fans first. But I think we want to come out and show everybody that Cleveland Browns are back. And last year was, that wasn't a good year for them.
And speaking of some of the new players they brought in Orpheus Roy as well as Keith McKenzie from Green Bay. These two defensive ends that come in to strengthen up that defensive line. That's got to help you at the middle linebacker spot if you've got that front line solidified a little more this year.
Yeah, that means, they're going to be worried about a lot of different people on the line, and they have to brought the secondary. Percy Ellsworth coming in, so they're going to have to worry about a lot of people. And I think once we get together and get to clicking, I think we're going to be pretty strong.
Last year, that defensive line, a lot of questions regarding that. Did that have a lot to do with those defensive schemes that you guys came up with, like the UFO, a lot of different schemes that come up to add some different pressures from different angles on the quarterback?
I mean, it could be, but me, myself, personally, I think, it just all depends on the player, man. Whatever they give you, you go out there and play it your hardest, and I think it'll work.
Okay, now, I mentioned the fact that the Combine is going on right now in Indianapolis. Last year, you were a fourth-round pick by the Cleveland Browns. Did you have an opportunity to go through that? And if so, what was that all about and what was it like?
Oh, man, it's a wild time on the season, especially for, you're in college. All these different people looking at you, and you don't really know where you're going. And a lot of things are being said, and you get real nervous. But I think once it comes down to it, you get in a camp and you start playing, get down straight football. I think you get more relaxed and you start just play the game.
Now, one guy who is not at the Combine, that being Peter Warrick out of Florida State. The Browns do have that #1 pick. If you had that decision to make, if you were Dwight Clark and company, who would you choose at that #1 pick?
I think, no doubt, I think it would be him. He's an excellent player. I played against him in college. He can do it all. He can catch the ball. You can put him in the backfield and run the ball. So and he can help a team out on special teams. So I think he's gonna be a good prize to pick up.
What do you remember about him most playing against him in college?
I think most of all his competitiveness and how he wants to win and the way he gets it done. I mean, people say, he's fast and this, but I think just out on the field, he's so quick, and he makes people, he stops on a dime. I think that's the main thing.
Now, you should know more than anyone playing that middle linebacker spot. A lot of times he comes across the middle or you're chasing him from behind, as the case may be. Do you think with the way the Browns have been going, picking up the defensive players, picking up Eric Reck coming over from Baltimore, do you think this is the way they're, I guess, turning their attention toward picking up Peter Warrick with that first pick?
I mean, it could be, but, where it's set up, I think, just fans, and including myself, I think that's where it looks like. But, Dwight Clark and the people upstairs, they know what they're doing, and I think they're just going to continue and keep people surprised, surprising people.
And speaking of surprising people, you surprised a lot of people last year, starting in your first year. Out of that experience, what do you think you learned most?
I just think the thing I learned most is just, introduction to NFL, that, it is a job, but you still have to have fun out there. There's a lot of guys, not just on the Browns team, but on different teams that, they get paid and they don't really, I don't know, they take the joy out of the game, just playing for the fans and having fun out there. But I think that's the one thing, I learned most is, always play it like you're a child.
Now, looking back over that, I guess, opportune situation that you had last year, would you rather do it that way, starting your rookie year, or do like most rookies do, you sit down for 1 or 2 years, learn the system, and then get yourself put in that the defense maybe 2 or 3 years down the road?
Well, I think I couldn't have had it better. I love being in, what they call pressure situations, and that's what people call that type of situation, just coming in and starting, and I'm always ready to step up to it, and I think I did a good job last year, but I always think I can do better, and I want to come out this year coming up and do a better job.
And speaking of that, the Browns are trying to do a better job defensively, picking up some new players, as well as a new defensive coordinator in Romeo Cornell. What do you know about him, and what do you think he'll bring different to the table this year?
I think he's gonna bring a different type of scheme, and you know, like we have different type of players coming in, and I think it's gonna be a lot more excitement and probably a lot more blessing going on.
And hopefully the first win of the season coming from the new season.
That's right. That's what we're looking forward to.
All right, Wally, thanks a lot for joining us tonight. And again, the off season starts what, March 4th, if I'm not mistaken?
March 6th.
March 6th, and you'll be there.
Yeah, I'll be there.
All right, we'll keep an eye on you.
All right.
All right, folks, that's Wally Rainer, the starting linebacker for the Cleveland Browns. We'll have much more on him and the Browns as the minicamp gets underway here in the next several weeks. Now, spring training is a time for hope and anticipation as every team begins what they hope is a journey to the top. Coming up next, Mac Underwood sits down with one member of the tribe who has a new appreciation for what hope really means after witnessing the devastation of his country. Stick around. Sports Sunday is coming right back.
Toyota Sports Sunday is sponsored by your Northeastern Ohio Toyota dealer. It's 2 a.m. You can't sleep, so what are you going to do? Why not buy a Toyota? Just type in www.toyotacentral.com. That'll put the latest Toyota cars and trucks and special regional offers just a mouse click away. You can browse the inventory of Toyota certified used vehicles online too. Then click the dealer directory and type in your area code to find the dealer nearest you. Remember, we're open all night at toyotacentral.com.
Aquatic Technology invites you to submerge yourself into one of the largest saltwater stores in the world. Aquatic Technology is Northeast Ohio's worldwide connection for healthy saltwater fish, corals, and live rock. Find only the highest quality supplies designed to ensure years of enjoyment. We have everything you need to get started. For the advanced aquarist, there's no need to special order. We have the exotic, hard-to-find species in stock. Aquatic Technology, just 7 miles west of I-71 on Route 82 in Columbia Station. It's worth the trip.
Inventory liquidation sale. Tom Raper will have to pay Indiana taxes on his entire inventory March 1st. Tom will sell under cost to avoid the tax. Over 1,000 diesel pushers, motorhomes, travel trailers, fifth wheels, tent campers, truck campers, cargo trailers. On sale now. Huge discounts now through February 29th. Tom Raper, world's largest. I-70 exit 149A, Richmond, Indiana. Call free 1-800-RAPER-RV. Tom Raper super tax sale now.
Welcome back to Sports Sunday. I'm Matt Underwood here in Winter Haven, Florida, spring training home of the Cleveland Indians, and we're happy to be joined tonight by Indian shortstop Omar Vizquel. Omar, normally the off-season is a time to relax and sit back and reflect on the past season, but this was not a typical off-season for you.
Well, it was kind of busy. You know, it's the first time that I'm doing something that I know I never did before. It was organized an event where around 25,000 people was going to come, and it was different. Just try to get everybody together, try to donate stuff like the baseball park, like the softballs, like the base, the gloves, the bats where the people were going to use for the softball game. It was really interesting. You know, all this because whatever happened in Venezuela with the mudslides. There were about 50,000 people dead, and I wanted to do something to try to get back to the community. And I think doing a celebrity game, a softball game, was going to bring a little bit of enthusiasm to the fans and to the people. And we brought about 500 kids from the areas that has been devastated and all that. So we have a pretty good time. And it was a really nice experience for me just to try to put all this together.
Omar, we hear athletes talk a lot about giving back to your community, giving back to your hometown. This was a true test of that for you, wasn't it?
It was. You know, I think the important thing is not to do it on a money-wise. You know, it's easy to go and say, okay, this is 10,000, this is 50,000. But I think what the people wants to see, wants to hear is about the guys coming out there and talk and see how the situation is. You know, I spent about a week trying to talk to those people, trying to get back to the kids, trying to give some toys away for them, and it was a really interesting experience for me. I think I would do it any time. I never have been involved on a disaster and see how the people try to live after that.
This is something you really put your heart and soul into.
Yeah, it really got into your heart, man. Just, you know, it makes you realize that every day you are so fortunate to be in the big leagues and to have a little bit of money and try to share with everybody else. I think it's great for me to try to get back to them.
Is it difficult for you, having been there and walked through the devastation, to get those images, those pictures out of your mind?
It is really hard, you know, especially when you walk in some of those houses and see mud all the way up to 7, 8 foot of mud. I think it's really hard for me to try to erase that memory. The kids coming out of the house with no clothes on. It was really devastating. I think I'm going to try my best to keep working with them as long as I can to try to rebuild the whole state of Vargas. That's where everything happened. It's only 25 minutes away from my house. And every time I see people from there, it's going to break my heart. So I'm going to work my best during the season and during the off-season to try to get back to them.
Being here in Winter Haven, baseball, it's your job. I know it's your profession. You make a lot of money doing it. Does it almost seem inconsequential compared to what happened back home?
Well, I'm pretty good to separate things off the field and being on the field. I think when I put my uniform on, I know the things that I have to do in the baseball field. I have to sign some autograph, I have to play my game, I have to do my best on the field. Then after that, you got plenty of time to try to get back to your friends, try to go to lunch, try to call the people in the foundation in Venezuela to see how the things are and all that. I think you got plenty of time. So if you can combine both, I think it's a pretty good life that you have going.
The changes the Indians made in the offseason, Mike Hargrove out, Charlie Manuel in, the addition of Chuck Finley. What do you make of this club as you go into the year 2000?
Well, I think the change was needed. You know, after a few years with Hargrove as a manager, we have a lot of good time together, and we always have some bad times together. But it was time to give somebody else a new chance, a new mind, refresh, somebody that do some new changes and a new attitude. And I think with Charlie, we have a good guy. He's a great guy to be around with. He's really fun. And I hope he doesn't change his way as he teach, because he was a great hitting instructor. And as you know, everybody have pretty good relationship with him. So he's going to be pretty open. And of course, he's going to be a different manager. So we don't know what to expect yet from Charlie, but it's going to be fun to work with him. And as far as I'm concerned with Chuck Finley, we always needed that #1 guy in the pitching staff rotation. And he's going to be the man that is going to take us to one step forward. I think he shouldn't be listening to this because we're going to put a lot of pressure on him. But he knows what he has to do to get us up there. And I'm really happy that he's with us.
Are you also looking forward to another season, the dynamic duo, you and Robbie in the middle of the infield?
That's always a really nice thing to think about when you come into spring training. You see all the guys around you, and when you see Robbie taking ground balls and swinging the bat, he's always a motivator. I mean, I always like to follow everything he does and talk to him about the game. He's really a smart guy, and I'm really looking forward to work with him.
Last year, you had an incredible offensive season, but Robbie Alomar also had an MVP-type offensive season, not to mention your gold glove work at each position. Does Robbie push you, and do you think you push Robbie as well?
Well, I kind of push myself a lot. I don't care if it's Robbie or Kenny or Travis or Jim Thome. I really like to push myself every year. This year was the year that I think I played my best. You know, I'm in the best of my career right now. I hope that I can have a season that I have last year with the bat, trying to help the team to score some runs. And I think with the type of lineup that we don't have to worry too much about that. But I'm pretty sure that I'm going to try to push myself to another level this year and try to do, it's not the same, a little better.
I know you said you got a lot of contributions from people in Cleveland and help from your teammates with regards to the flood victims in Venezuela. But if someone is watching this tonight on TV and they want to help, how do they go about doing that?
Well, we're going to continue to talk to the fans, talk to the players to see in what way we can reach to the community in Venezuela. I have a couple proposals from schools that they want to start donating books or pencils or any kind of utensils that the kids are going to use in the schools down there. During the season, we're going to give up a phone number and a bank account where people can keep donating stuff and try to help out. We're probably thinking about one day in the whole season, people is going to come out, it's going to call the Venezuelan flood relief effort. And we're going to try to pick up more donations for my foundation in Venezuela, and we're going to keep working for them. I think it's really, really a challenge for me to try to do that this year.
Well, good luck with everything. Thanks.
Thank you, man.
You got it. All right, Indians shortstop Omar Vizquel joining us on the show. We'll be back with more Sports Sunday coming up right after this.
If you're looking for horsepower, look at Chevy Silverado, because Silverado has the most powerful V8 of any 4x4 pickup. More powerful than Dodge, more powerful than Ford. 300 horsepower. That's why it's the truck. Silverado from Chevy.
Are you looking for an SUV? Well, how about a brand new 2000 GMC Jimmy 4x4 for just $2? Now, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, at that price, we're giving them away. Well, you'd be right. Here's my card.
The Ohio Lottery's new $2 SUV and cash instant game. You could win a brand new Jimmy and loads of cash prizes.
And if I'm making this up, may lightning strike Frank.
Play the new Ohio Lottery $2 SUV and cash instant game.
Hey, Dad needs a quiet house, okay?
I'm worried about Bill. Taxes. I think he might need professional help.
Wednesday night is NASCAR night at the Auto Show. Meet NASCAR winners Tony Stewart and Kenny Irwin. Wednesday night, NASCAR night at Auto Show 2000. Part 3 at the IX Center.
And welcome back. Earlier, we heard what Browns starting middle linebacker Wally Ringer had to say about the draft and his rookie season with the Browns. Now it's time to hear from a Hall of Famer who not only played the game, but he now calls it like he sees it. Back in the 70s, the Pittsburgh Steelers made Hall of Fame quarterback Terry Bradshaw their #1 pick in the draft. Like the Browns this year, the Steelers were coming off a subpar season and went for offense in the draft. Bradshaw believes the Browns should follow suit with their #1 pick.
The Browns have addressed some of their needs on defense. They've addressed with signing of Eric Rett, a good back, not a great back. They really should have gotten the kid out of Jacksonville. But if they can get Ward, the wide receiver, that's the guy you go with now. Because I think you've addressed some of your problems defensively. I think you go with Warwick out of Florida State.
Now, Bradshaw says Warwick has all the tools to be a big playmaker. But with 2 NFL players facing murder charges in a year that saw several players on the police blotter, Bradshaw believes Warwick's brush with the law will be scrutinized very closely.
Hopefully his character is not isn't a drawback. Hopefully those things are behind him, because we're seeing too much. I think the NFL is really concerned right now with the fact that with all the problems we've had with the Ray Caruth problem in Carolina and now with the Lewis problem, the NFL and the Michael Irvin, I mean, all these issues of drug and spouse abuse and murder, or at least that's the way it looks. The NFL is very concerned about it, and I think the Browns will be too when they make their draft.
But Bradshaw maintains the Browns are not locked into getting Warwick. When he won his 4 Super Bowls with Pittsburgh, he had the dynamic duo of a big, tall receiver like John Stallworth and the artistical one, Len Swan.
If you don't get him, there's a kid at Michigan State that's pretty doggone good. There's several receivers. You don't have to have a Keyshawn Johnson. That doesn't have to be the first pick to be an impact player. Majority of the time, great wide receivers are not taken with the first pick. You can find wide receivers, but if this kid, Warwick, is that good, that competitive, also we got to look at his background, look at the problems he's had. Those things are not, you don't easily cast those aside. But you need an impact player, and if that's the kid you want, that would be the guy I'd go after.
Now, when Bradshaw played, free agency and the salary cap were not issues. So when the Browns selected Tim Couch last year with the first pick, he was surprised.
My question about that is this. You get him beat up because your offensive line isn't that good. He doesn't have the receivers or the running game. And you have to wonder whether or not the pounding he's going to take is going to take away, causes him to lose his confidence. So I don't necessarily think that you go out and get a quarterback, especially one, once again, that I did not think was a franchise guy. I didn't think he was an Elway or a Marino. So I would have I would have built the offensive line, I would have built the defense so I could stay competitive and then hope to get in a position later to get a quarterback that hopefully would play for us for 10 years.
But after a history-making season for Couch, which saw him break the Browns' record for touchdowns for a rookie, Bradshaw says his attitude changed after seeing Couch's toughness, something that reminded Bradshaw of himself as a rookie.
By the time the end of the season came around, he'd put up really nice numbers. He played very well. He held himself together, and the poise factor continued through the NFL, and the maturity, or as they like to say, maturation process was in place. I thought he played excellent, and as they get more players around him that can make big plays, I think the Browns made a great choice. I mean, this is a kid that really won me over last
year. The 2000 Kia Sportage. Rugged, dependable, and starting about $4 less than the Honda CR-V. The Sportage is built on a solid truck frame.
I wonder where those guys are.
They probably stopped off for hair gel or something.
The Honda has an ordinary car chassis, and that can affect your performance.
It's okay. Happens to a lot of guys.
Get up to $1,500 cash back on a new Kia Sportage until February 29th.
If you have depression, you may already know that certain antidepressants can cause sexual side effects in some people. But here's something you may not know. Not all antidepressants are alike. Call now to find out about effective ways to treat depression that can help you get on with your life with minimal sexual side effects. You'll receive a free information kit that will give you the facts and your options. And it will help you discuss them with your doctor so you can find out what's right for you. You do have a choice. Sexual side effects don't have to be a part of treating depression, but you make the call. Call this number for your free kit or talk to your doctor and learn how you can help yourself and the one you love.
In the match play championship, 19th seed Darren Clark and top-ranked Tiger Woods were tied through 18 holes. Usually that spells trouble for anyone who is an opponent of Tiger, but usually doesn't mean always, and today was one of those days. The #1 player in the world was cruising through the final 11 holes of the 36 they played. He was in great position to cut into Clark's 3-up lead, but Tiger fell apart on number 12. Clark led the last 32 holes and beat Tiger 4-3 in the biggest win of his career, $1 million payday. Don't go away. We've got much more coming up on Sports Sunday right after this.
Toyota Sports Sunday is sponsored by your Northeastern Ohio Toyota dealer.
It's Toyota's winter closeout, and that means big savings on every sport utility in stock, including the legendary Toyota 4Runner. Four-Wheeler Magazine named 4Runner one of its 10 best buys, and now you can get up to $1,100 in value package savings, or choose an exciting new RAV4 and save up to $1,250. Don't miss Toyota's winter closeout. See your Toyota dealer before the winter closeout ends February 29th.
In children's bedroom furniture, one name above all others spells value: Stanley. Young America by Stanley grows up with your kids, so why buy your children's bedroom furniture 2, 3, 4 times when Young America is durable enough to last a lifetime? A place to study, to store, to sleep. And Fish Furniture has it for less. Nursery to teens to new apartment. The Fish Furniture as easy as ABC sale saves you more. ABCs to MBAs. Young America grows up with you.
Monday on Good Morning Cleveland.
Cars of the Future from the Cleveland Auto Show.
And our Hawaii Grand Prize drawing.
Monday at 5:30 on Good Morning Cleveland.
And before we leave you, Bobby Labonte wins the Kmart 400, and the Browns come back to town this week to start getting in shape for the 2000 season. And the Tribes, they stop stretching and start playing some games. Plus, Wednesday is March 1st. Which means the madness is about to begin. Thanks for tuning in to Toyota Sports Sunday. I'm Daryl Joyner for the News Channel 5 Posse and Sports Sunday. Have a good evening.
The most powerful V6 engine in its class. The most interior space in its class. Amenities that would surprise you in any class. For those seeking refuge from mediocrity and compromise, we offer the Sanctuary. presenting the all-new Infiniti i30. It's all the best thinking.
Monday is Family Day at the Auto Show. Kids 15 and under get in free and are eligible to win one of 8 Jeep Wrangler Power Wheels in hourly drawings from 1 till 8 p.m. Monday, Family Day at the Auto Show.
Like to start the new year on a high note? The Civic for the year 2000. And now, the lyrics. See how a little music can enrich your life.
They're supposed to be used once and then thrown away.
He told them that there had been a terrible accident.
But are some hospitals recycling used medical instruments?
My original surgeon told me that the tip was a reused tip.
We have reused things for many years.
News Channel 5 checks area hospitals to find out how safe they really are.
Anybody would be concerned about something that's reused.
Recycled healthcare on special assignment tonight at 11 on News Channel 5.
Clouds decreasing, temperatures in the 40s.